Mr. Hodgkiss.
Mr. Williams.
Serious note today. It's a serious podcast today. I'm not going to do my usual jovial sing-song at the start of the episode. I'm doing an episode dedication today.
Okay.
And this episode, I'm dedicating this episode, calling this episode Jane Hopper. So this is in dedication of a Miss Jane Hopper, born Jane Ives. So in the 1970s, Jane Ives was cruelly experimented upon in a controversial government program. She was kidnapped by a Dr. Brenner, and sadly, throughout her childhood, Jane was denied access to the outside world.
Oh, flip.
Yeah. Later, November the 6th, 1983, Brenner pushed Jane to make contact with a creature from the alternate dimension. Jane, also known as Eleven, is a main character in Stranger Things, portrayed by Millie Bobby Brown, and we'll be taking a first look at the final season of Stranger Things in spring or summer of 2025.
So, again, you had me hook, line and sinker, then I thought, oh, flip, this must be someone who Williams knows from down Cornwall. No, just 11 from Stranger Things. But, you know, bravo for the effort you put in to shoehorn that in. Bravo to 11.
This is dedicated to her, episode 11.
11.
Hey.
What a great character she is.
Welcome, listeners. First at Homes, a companion podcast where you get to join us whilst you're hoovering, taking a dog for a walk, whilst you're going to sleep. I don't think we're one of those podcasts where people can go to sleep to.
We're not quite we don't really quite have the dulcet tones of Stephen Fry and Harry Potter.
No, we don't.
I read that.
We listen to Harry Potter when we go to sleep. All the time. We listen to all the books like a million times.
But have you actually listened to the books, or have you put it on and just fallen asleep to
about
it?
like 2 minutes, or yeah.
So we have a similar tradition. We put Audible on, or the audio books are available. Put the Harry Potter on, put it on for 20 minutes. I'm usually asleep within about 30 seconds. Leslie Ann listens to every minute of it every single night.
Does she?
So that poor woman has listened to those Harry Potter books.
She knows every single word.
Yeah. I don't know how she does it. Like it's just I think I heard someone else call Stephen Fry reading those books instant cure for insomnia.
He has got a good voice for that sort of stuff.
He does.
But Georgie picks the podcast we usually go to bed to, and I always was a silent. I need absolute silence before I go to sleep.
Oh, really?
And then Georgie came along, and
who's not very silent.
No, she needs a podcast to listen to. But it needs to be like a Stephen Fry or something. It can't be anything that suddenly goes bah, 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 you know. It can suddenly go into
what kind of podcast do you listen to, Williams?
I don't know, but it needs to be someone like Stephen Fry's dulcet tones to fall asleep to.
Do you have a TV in the bedroom?
No.
See, I was always, when I was younger, we had the TV in the bedroom, and the same kind of effect, I guess. Just put something on to fall asleep to. Podcasts these days, tell you. Yeah. If anybody is listening to this and falling asleep, good night. God bless.
Well, not yet. Well, you might fall asleep.
2 minutes. If you put it on for 2 minutes, we are currently 3 minutes and 55 seconds in. So
if you listen to episode 9, I think it was, there's a good Star Trek bit at the end, which you might be interested in.
Easy. Star Trek's fantastic. Actually, I haven't done it yet, but there's Star Trek Strange New World Season 2 premiere. I haven't watched that yet, so I can't do that as a first look.
Well, there you go. So
you've got that to look forward to, listeners.
For our listeners that listen to this to fall asleep to, you have that to look forward to. I'm gonna start a new segment.
A new segment.
A new segment. I'm gonna try a new format out. I don't know what it's gonna be called yet. Please write in if you've got any suggestions. Perhaps First Look Pub, or maybe in the Lamb and Flag, or maybe the little bit of history. Listen back to previous episodes about that. But I'm gonna try and make sure each podcast I'm going to try a new beer that I've never drank before, or a new beverage.
There can't be many left that you've not tried.
Well, no. So today I am going for, it's called Little Purple One.
Is that Prince?
It's got a cartoon graphic or some sort of prints from the looks of it.
God rest his
It's
soul.
a hazelnut and chocolate stout
Delicious.
by Brew York. It's only a 2.8%. It's got a nut rating. It's got four nuts out of 5 apparently. It's got a little diagram as well that says it's towards the sweet and mouthfeel side of the diagram.
What's mouthfeel?
I don't know what a mouthfeel is. And a little bit of malty. It's a little bit malty, quite sweet, and quite mouthfeel. So you feel it in your mouth, apparently. And this is brewed in York. So there we go. And for our ASMR listeners.
Let's try it. Yeah, let's. Oh, you did the. I'll do the commentary on this one. So, for our listeners, Dan Williams is pouring the beer.
Lovely smell.
Lovely smell straight away. He's ready to feel it in his mouth. He's pouring it quite fast for a stout.
So it's not got a widget, is it? So it's
So it's just come straight out.
Lovely smell. Quite a hazelnutty smell, actually.
Well, it's 4 out of 5 nuts. That should be.
Cheers.
He's had a big swig. He's got it in his mouth.
It's quite
I'm going to guess it's hazelnutty and chocolatey.
very, very, yeah, but it's quite a nutty, dry. Brilliant concept for a podcast.
Find the adjectives. Find the adjectives.
I feel like this should be you doing this segment as opposed to me. The worst person in vocab. Nice. Handsome. Interesting.
He's got a happy face on,
nice,
listeners.
I think. I'll carry on drinking. I've got 2 cans of it, so I'll carry on drinking. It's quite like a burnt, dry sort of taste.
Well,
does that make sense?
I don't know if you've got a burnt, dry taste. It sounds like toast, but
it's a toast. It's a toasty beer. That's the little purple one by Brew York.
Well, to give the listeners a peek behind the curtain, when we do this podcast, we can see each other.
I'll put a picture of it on the Insta.
The can artwork look fantastic.
It's a pretty can.
It is a pretty can.
Go. So that's our new thing I'm going to be doing on podcast. Is having a first taste of a new beverage.
Not that we drink heavily, but we do tend to have a few beverages when we make this podcast. It was one of the reasons this podcast was started, was so that even though we live in 2 different countries, we can still get together and have a beer. And we have always, so again, our long-suffering friendship has involved many beer festivals, many
we went to
sessions drinking beer.
We went to the London Beer Festival, which is one of the biggest beer festivals, in 2010.
Was that 2010?
I'm kind of guessing, but around 2010, I presume. It was at the Earl's Court.
Earl's Court, yeah.
And we had a first look at various beers, and me and Mr. Hodgkiss did a mini review of each beer and did a rating. And then when we look back at it, the ratings actually increased as the evening went on. And funny enough, the last beer we had was 10 out of 10.
That was about
a lovely time at the end. So I don't know what the correlation was there. But
listeners, no, we won't lie to you. We got shit-faced. After about pint number 10, you're like, oh, that's a really good one. Who knows what you're drinking? You just drink it.
There you go. And you can come join us for a drink at our original brewery, Taproom and Beer Hall, with 60 plus beers available in Walmgate in York. So if you're in York, go check it out. It's an alright beer.
If you've got any beers you would recommend that Dan tries for this new section, please send them in.
Grab your tackle, Craig.
Oh, grabbed it. Ow!
Let's bring your beers with you. Let's head down to the pond of feedback.
Down at the bottom of the garden.
Almost forgot it was called then. First bit of feedback. I found out yesterday or the day before, that my mother-in-law has a nickname for yourself and I.
Oh, is it? I'm assuming it's something like the lovely gnomes, the wonderful two gnomes.
No, but I quite like it. It's the Poddington Peas.
The Poddington. That's very
Poddington
clever.
Peas.
Down at the bottom of the garden, and we do a
On the
podcast.
garden, we do a Poddington
Bravo,
Peas.
Sue.
Why didn't we call ourselves the Poddington Peas as opposed to the first little name?
Because of copyright infringement.
Well, yes.
But that's genius. Thanks, Sue. That is very. I like.
What a show
thinking
Poddington
behind
Peas
that.
was.
It was. Can you remember the whole theme tune?
We're the Poddington Peas.
So it was down at the bottom of the garden, between the birds and the bees. There live a lot of little people. They're called the Poddington Peas. The Poddington Peas. But then he went through the names, didn't it? Like
it was talking a long time ago.
We're grumpy, mushy, and we're something.
Oh, I don't remember this bit.
We're frozen and we're something.
Really? Are you making this bit up now?
I can't remember the names, but it did go for there's grumpy, mucky, something. Anyway, this will lead us down a YouTube rabbit hole later.
It would, yeah.
But well, that's nice to know that we've got a nickname. A fan who likes us enough to give us a nickname.
Yeah, the Poddington Peas.
She could have said something a lot worse, couldn't she?
She could have done.
Let's be honest.
Yes,
she could have said. She could have said any kind of other things beginning with P, ending in something that sounds like sticks. But she just she went for P, so we'll be happy with that one.
Yeah, Poddington Peas. Yes, well, that's what at least Georgie told me. Other news on the feedback. So yesterday, I got locked out of the Instagram account because it said I was compromised. It said the First Little Gnomes Instagram account was compromised because it presumed I was using a service to get followers and likes because of my repetitive content. How rude.
How rude indeed.
Now, I don't want to repeat myself. I said I don't want to repeat myself. But I should not do repetitive content. But I managed to get access again. But how rude.
You do a fair bit of repetitive content. You seem to have gone away from doing your famous people as gnomes ones now, and it's just the jokes.
Nobody liked it.
Oh, no famous people, you mean?
No, yeah.
No. I'm surprised Shaquille O'Neal wasn't thinking, oh, that's really clever. I'll wonder what these two young chaps are up to in the United Kingdom.
Now I'll bring back the celebrity gnomes and try to spice it up a bit again. I will be putting some more jokes on there, but perhaps not as often as I was. So we'll go for quality over quantity.
We don't want to get locked out again, Miles.
No, exactly.
Someone might send you a message saying they want to sponsor the show.
Exactly. Exactly.
We make it like Bachelor's Mushy Peas or something, after that.
Exactly. We've already had Hollywood directors get in contact with us. And
That's
we've had,
true. Podcast festivals wanting us to go over to Florida.
Yes, so...
the world is our oyster.
We'll keep ourselves available via many communication things.
We're available for bar mitzvahs, birthdays, 40th birthdays, weddings, and funerals.
Also, mini gnome update. We've got our first merchandise. This is a mini first look. So we've got our first merchandise available for first look gnomes. The regular retail price might be a bit high.
What are you talking about? Merchandise.
This is something. So Georgie, because she's heavily involved and embracing the First Names podcast.
She's on maternity leave and bored, is what she is.
She's created something. It's taken her a few months. Like I say, if anybody's interested, the regular retail price would be about £250 per item. But look, she created.
She's very nice.
A little baby bib with a first look gnome on the front.
That's very cute.
I'll post it to Instagram.
Is it?
You can buy these for about £250 per item. There you go.
I like that. That can be our new logo. That's a work of art. That is, Georgie.
It is. If you look at you can't really tell from the webcam, but
it looks amazing. The embroidery and everything.
The beard took her forever, she said.
So she's made it's a baby bib, and she's embroidered a gnome onto it. Yeah. And it looks class.
It's a white baby bib with a red hat, a big nose,
available for £250.
A little outfit. But yeah, £250 a pop.
Very good.
If anyone's interested.
And just to reaffirm, Williams is not a Nigerian prince. Send your bank details to firstlook@firstlookgnomes.com.
Yeah.
And you'll have your 6 million baby bibs with you soon.
Yes. We have some new listeners.
Hello, new listeners.
If any of you have £250 spare, get in contact.
Williams, welcome. Don't hustle the new listeners. They've just joined.
I get commission. 25 quid. Welcome new listeners from Tenerife.
Tenerife.
San Cristobal. I've many a holiday to Tenerife. In between my country clubs and
we went on a holiday together to Tenerife when we graduated. Do you remember?
We did actually. Yeah.
Fell asleep on a cliff edge.
You did. You did. I didn't. Yes. Less we talk about that holiday, the better.
Lads.
Listeners from Clacton, Essex.
Essex. Is that someone you used to work with, possibly?
Hopefully not. Welcome new listeners from, and they do good beer, Jaipur. That's India, Rajasthan.
Oh,
Jaipur.
hello.
I've heard Jaipur. That's strong beer, Jaipur, actually.
That's not the Pussycat Doll song. Jaipur. No.
No. And welcome new listeners from Melbourne in Australia. Melbourne in Australia.
That's very apt with the Ashes starting today.
Yes, we're doing all right, aren't we? I think.
We did. We declared earlier than we've ever declared before. We declared it for 390 something.
First look at the Ashes. Yeah.
Yeah. Come on, England.
Very good. Oh, interesting fact, actually. Why aren't koalas actual bears?
Why aren't koalas actual bears? I do not know.
They didn't meet the qualifications.
So, did they actually kick you out of Instagram for repetitive content, or did they kick you out of Instagram because of your shit jokes?
I was probably getting loads of complaints. So, yeah.
Just kind of, they had to retire the face palm emoji.
Loads of report warnings and inappropriate content buttons being pressed.
I was listening to the radio today and I heard a couple of cracking dad jokes. And I can't remember them for love nor money. They wouldn't have been as good as the koala one anyway. They were. Oh no, that was it. It was like Dad was walking with his kid and there was a gravestone. He said, "Oh, it's very busy, this graveyard. People must be dying to get in." I thought you'd appreciate that one, Williams.
Yeah, no, that's a good one.
Terrible dad joke.
Let's get on to the what the podcast is about and get on to some first looks, shall we?
Some first looks? Well, Williams...
Presuming you have a first look.
So, having listened back to episode 10...
Obviously, I chucked in a couple mini first looks with the little purple one. Which is going down quite well, actually. The Hazelnut Chocolate Stout and the merchandise.
Well... Thank you for those little ones. I am going to keep with that theme. So, having listened back to episode 10, I realised I did an awful lot of talking about things. I don't know what was going on. I was just yapping and yapping and yapping. So,
you had a lovely holiday.
I had a lovely holiday and I was still processing it. So, this one, I'm going to try and keep it short, Williams. And instead of doing one big one, I've got a couple of little ones.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, let's be honest, Williams, people are here to listen to you. I'm just here yapping. They want to hear your dad jokes.
Little one.
Well, I've got 2 or 3 little ones. So, do you want me to start?
I'm sure our YouTube video viewers tune in to look at you.
I beg you, my little ones.
For our listeners, just to clarify, today Mr. Hodgkiss has changed his name on screen to Naked Joe,
Oh, yes.
and he is naked. He's the naked podcaster.
Well, I mean, I'm not totally naked. I'm wearing some clothes.
They don't know that.
It's very warm. It's very warm and sticky here in Belfast. So yes, I am not wearing as many clothes as I normally would, but also more than I normally would, if that makes sense. So anyway, we will leave that imagination in your minds, listeners.
Burnt popcorn. That's what it tastes like.
Oh, you're selling it to me. You're selling it to me.
Sorry, carry on.
I want to drink burnt popcorn. So, yes, well, I've got a couple. So do you want me to start, or have you got... How many have you got today?
Just do one little one, and I've got... well, actually, I've only got one little one, and I was going to make up the second little one as we go.
Well, why not? Well, my first one then. So I had... So today's Friday the 16th of June. We are 1 week away from Glastonbury. Now, if regular listeners to the show will remember... When the Glastonbury headliners were announced, we did a bit of a thing about it. We had a first look at the Glastonbury headliners. First one, we were looking at Elton John and talking about his career. So we're coming into that. So for listeners who are outside of the UK, we are coming into festival season. And we had our first look at a music festival. First one of the year, yeah. Wow. So in Belfast, there's a music festival called Belsonic. And it's on every year. It's been going for many years now.
Belsonic?
Belsonic, as in Belfast, Belsonic. And we are very lucky. We only live about a mile and a bit away, so we can walk to it. We can walk from it. And it's interesting because I've not been to it before. There's another one called Tennant's Vital, which they have, and I have been to that one before in Belfast. We went there and saw Foo Fighters. Tennant's is in the beer, yeah. So Tennant's is still very popular in Scotland and Northern Ireland, but Belsonic was my first experience. But we took my mother. So my mother she's almost 70. And she's never been to an outside show before. So we got a first look at how my mother, being 4'10", would handle an outdoor festival.
Yeah. And how did she handle it?
She handled it very well. Oh, so, she had a cracking time. She was on she had a couple of sherry wines and had a bit of a bop and an ice cream, and she had a good time. So, I mean, Belsonic as well, it's a big event. So they've got all the cool people. So you've got David Guetta. So it goes on over the course of a few weeks, and there's different people. So you've got all these cool acts. David Guetta. You've got Sam Fender, The Prodigy, Lizzo. And we went to the opening night, Williams.
Nice.
And do you know what cool, hip, young happening act we went to see?
I'm guessing from your body language and tone, it wasn't that hip.
Should I give you some? He may need a hip replacement, possibly because of his age. So I'll give you some clues, Williams. It's it was easy like a Sunday morning. The concert was. It was
easy like Sunday morning.
Yeah. When we got in there, everyone said to us hello as we walked in. They were very nice. There was. I went to the bar and I couldn't hear, so I said, say you, say me. It's like, when I was there, I was like, Mom, this is my destiny to be here with you. Any clues yet, Williams? Any idea who we went to see?
Lionel?
It was Lionel Richie.
Lionel, hey.
So we took my darling mother to see Lionel Richie in a field with portaloos in Belfast.
Did she use the portaloos?
She did. She had no choice. When you got to go, you got to go.
You got to go, yeah.
And we took her there. It was her Mother's Day present. So my mum and me my mum's a big Motown fan. She loves all the Motown songs from the 70s. And she's a big Smokey Robinson fan. Loves Lionel Richie. And my mum's seen Lionel Richie before, and I've seen Lionel Richie before with my friend Will from back home. And it was interesting because tickets came out. I'm like, should we go to this? So went, and he was being supported by the Human League, who are another 80s classic band. And I'm not going to lie, Williams, it may sound a bit over the top, but it was one of the best shows I've ever been to.
Really?
We had beautiful sunshine.
Lovely.
The atmosphere was cracking.
Yeah.
We got, as we went in, we got free wristbands to go into the Golden Circle, which is kind of the mosh pit. However,
Colder,
because it's a Lionel Richie concert, there is no moshing. It just meant you could get a better view. And my mum when I said my mum's 4'10", I'm not really sure she's that far off it. She may be 5 foot if she's wearing heels. She's a shorty. And we got to go in this gold circle, and he got a good view, and he played nothing but hits, and it was just brilliant.
Oh, good.
But the whole event was put on really well. The way they funneled people in and out, the whole thing was it was so well done. So I had a first look at the Belsonic Festival, first look at the Human League. I'd never seen them before, and they were great. First look at my mom attending a festival, which was cool. And first festival event of the year, of the season. Many more to come.
The season's kicked off.
The season has kicked on.
Lionel was
great.
when I was born. Lionel Richie was number one with "Hello."
Oh, was he really?
Yeah, I always imagine my mum being in the delivery ward and just "Hello" by Lionel Richie being played in the background.
Williams, this may be a first. I'm going to fact check you on that one.
Are you?
Yeah, so you were born April 84.
All right, don't tell all the listeners.
So
give all my details. Identity fraud.
Yeah. So again, the Prince.
My bank details, by the way, are
the Prince of Cornwall, born April sometime. I want to say that "Hello" was number one in January of 84. I could be wrong here. This is going to be one of those things.
Yeah, but those were the days where it was number one for a long time.
Oh, that's actually a very good point. That is very, very good point.
I remember Wet 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 being number one for like a record-breaking 18 weeks or something.
There is that was back in the 90s, wasn't it? With Love Is All Around. They stopped playing it, didn't they? They stopped playing it.
People get annoyed with it.
Yeah, and they stopped pressing the CDs and stuff. So we'll have a look, listeners. That'll be the cliffhanger. So we'll do that as the cliffhanger. While it's a bit early, but what actually was number one in the United Kingdom in 1984?
I just told you.
I think you're wrong. So I think but the cliffhanger is Williams right or am I right? We will find out. But no, fair play to Belsonic. The whole thing was great. Fair play to the people of Belfast.
We won't find out to next episode. But yeah.
No, that's it. We'll leave it to cliffhanger. It's an early cliffhanger.
Oh.
But it was brilliant. The whole thing was brilliant. The people who organised it, the people who went, everyone should be proud of themselves. There was no hassle. Toilets were clean. Staff were friendly. Atmosphere was brilliant. 10 out of 10 gig.
10 out of 10. Similar vein as vein. That's a horrible word, isn't it?
Vein. It's like moist vein. Ugh. No, thank you.
Vein of thought, train of thought, vein. What's the phrase I'm looking for?
Same train of thought
as the previous episode.
Are you talking about pubs and beer again?
No.
Disney World.
I do have other interests and other things than beer. Which now makes this sound quite sad, the next item. But no, this week we had a first look at an electric snorer.
Are you still...
It's a mini CPAP anti-snoring device.
My goodness. Are you still trying to get to the bottom of it? Why don't you just go and see an actual bloody doctor?
So listen back to previous episodes where I'm putting various things up my nose, and I've used strips and things like that to stretch the nose. But now I bought it's an electric snorer. This one, I don't know if as you can see on the box, has got some random Japanese or Chinese.
I would not trust putting that anywhere near my face.
Language on it. So this is an oxygen concentration CPAP device. So it's a halfway house to what Mr. Hodgkiss was explaining previously from China. You don't get very much from the box apart from a lot of Chinese things. And then you get a small device with a couple things that you insert into your nostril. I'm not going to do it now.
Proper nose plugs. These are people.
This is a proper nose plug. Proper size things. So it's for the big boys. And Yeah, so you get into bed with your fiance or wife or whoever you share your bed with. You get nice and cozy. You get your device. You spread your nostrils.
Spread them.
You insert it. You
You are still talking about the nostrils, yes?
you relax. You insert the device. You listen to Stephen Fry. You listen to Stephen Fry, and then. So yes, it's a USB jobby, so you can plug it in, charge it up, and it does work. I've definitely noticed I feel like I don't snore when I have it. And it's basically little fans that are pushing a slight bit of air towards your flaps, and yeah, it helps. But yeah, it's quite an experience. Just the
okay, Williams. Okay, I'm gonna.
And it's probably not as good as your proper CPAP jobs because the battery might run out halfway in the night through the night.
Yeah, I'm
So
not.
I wouldn't recommend it if you're a serious sort of level. It's better than what I described before. So it's a step in the right direction, and I recommend it just only if you're used to the.
So,
whilst you sleep.
Now, again, we have to be careful here, Williams, what we recommend because.
Sorry, yes, we don't recommend anything, so don't listen to us at all.
Let's look at this objectively, okay? So sleep apnea is an actual medical condition, okay? Mm-hmm. If you are snoring and struggling to breathe at night...
You should see a doctor.
But Williams, you just instead of seeing a doctor, you keep buying shit from Amazon.
From China.
But that comes with instructions that have been translated by Google Translate. And then plugging them into the power... and connecting them to your face.
It's meant to say insert in your nose.
You're connecting some random Chinese device with no medical safety guidance or any kind of testing probably done to it, and connecting it to a mains power socket and then connecting it to your face. I'm just wondering, Williams, if you really thought this through. Or if you're, maybe... Now, again, for listeners who've listened to previous podcasts, I also have sleep apnea. Well, I went and said, I've got sleep apnea. Doctor, what should I do about it? And do you know what he did? He didn't send me to put in Amazon to spend $3.99 on this device and then talk about it on a podcast. He said, get a proper test
again.
Yeah, for the second time. And... he said, go and get a proper test done and see how
if there's only someone I can ask about this sort of thing as well.
I know. If any there's somebody who's got experience of sleep apnea. No, I would seriously advise if I'm glad it's helping you, but it's not gonna be as beneficial to you as possibly a proper device. Now, this is again assuming if it is actually sleep apnea you have. You may just have a case of snoring. That was a good first look, Williams. It's always interesting to see what random crap you bought from Amazon.
Yeah.
Enjoy it.
Tune in next month.
To see what other random crap Williams has bought on Amazon. And just come back to see if he's been electrocuted.
This just arrived from Taiwan. It's a...
Well, speaking of random sounds, Williams...
Random sounds?
Random sounds. It leads me on to a discovery I made this week. It's... Do you know sometimes you stumble upon things and you think, who has had the time to do that, and why does it exist, and why can't I stop listening to it? So this week I discovered something called
episode 10 of First Look Gnomes.
No, even better than that. It's a thing called sound fonts.
Right.
Sound fonts. Now I don't know how popular these things are. And there seems to only be a few, but effectively...
As in, like, fonts when you're writing, so Arial...
Almost like fonts when you're writing. Yeah. So obviously you have different types of fonts. So you've got your serifs and your sans serifs and your displays. And you've got different fonts for different kind of moods and feelings that you're trying to evoke. Sound font. So from what I've discovered this week, Sound font is where somebody takes the sounds of something from pop culture,
Yeah.
and then mixes them with something else from pop culture to create something new. So sound fonts this week, the ones I kind of stumbled across. Again, to previous listeners, they will know this already. I'm into video games. I like my geek culture. Into big Nintendo fanboy and all this kind of stuff. Like beating my lightsaber. And the ones I came across was a Super Mario 64 sound fonts.
Right.
So anyone who was familiar with the Nintendo 64 and the game Super Mario 64 will instantly know the sound from it. So you'll hear they're like, Yahoo, it's a me, Mario. Yahoo! And all the kind of the sound effects when you get a star, the sound effects when you're swimming underwater, and all the different songs. So what someone has done is effectively collated all of those sounds and then put them into kind of a synthesizer and then mixed them with songs. So the first one I heard was Smells Like Teen Spirit by Nirvana in the Mario 64 sound font. So you listen to the song and it sounds like a song from Mario 64, but it's not. It Smells Like Teen Spirit by Nirvana. And it's really, really odd, but it's so clever. It works so well.
Is it using AI then? Is it using...
I don't know. No, I don't think it is. I think this is just people who have kind of sound mapped songs, taken the sound font, then kind of played the song that they know, for example, Smells Like Teen Spirit, and used the... you mean like a Casio keyboard, you could you had different sound effects. So number 22 would be, I don't know, French horn, and number 36 would be grand piano. I imagine it works something like that. You run a keyboard through a computer with a synthesizer connecting to this sound font, and when you play, certain chords, it sounds like the starry sound effect from Mario. I mean, I can play some of one.
Yeah, give it a go.
If you would wish. Hang on, I'll have to find it up.
Here we are now.
It's like, who spent the time to do that? It's had 2.2 million views.
2.2 million?
Yes.
There's hope for us yet, Craig.
It is. There is. And so the first comment on this says, people aren't talking enough about how awesome the cover art is. So actually, the cover art is brilliant. So I'll show Williams what the cover art is. So it's the album. It's the iconic Nirvana album where there used to be the baby swimming, chasing the dollar.
Yeah.
So they've replaced it with the Pingu from Mario 64, chasing a star. And yes, it is pretty good.
That is good.
So yeah, it's just, again, if you're bored, listeners, and you want to go down a rabbit hole, go and just
sound fonts.
Just go and have a look at sound fonts and see what people are doing. But that entertained me for a good half an hour, sat in the garden this week, just giggling to myself, thinking, this is brilliant.
Just giggling to yourself.
Just giggling to myself.
Playing with your lightsaber.
Yeah.
I watched had a first look at Ant-Man.
Oh, Ant-Man Quantumania.
Yeah, have you seen it?
No.
Well, then I can't talk about it because spoilers.
I know you've got Krang the Conqueror, is it?
Kang, yeah.
Kang, sorry, the Conqueror. And it's all setting up another kind of big Avengers collaboration, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah. It was quite good. I don't know how much I can talk about it because...
just talk about Paul Rudd and how he doesn't age.
Yeah, Paul Rudd doesn't age. So Paul Rudd's still the same bit.
Did you ever see Clueless when you were a kid with Alicia Silverstone? So that was the first movie I ever saw Paul Rudd in. And he's genuine. Like, I'm talking like this was 1996, 95.
Yeah.
I mean, and he looks the same now.
Yes.
The man's just phenomenal.
Man. Yeah. He's what, 55?
No, he's not 55.
He's mid-50s.
The man looks incredible.
Maybe 53 or something, but yeah. He's...
Fair play. And was it a good film? Did you enjoy it?
It was very good in terms of graphics and CGI and all that sort of stuff. and the rest of it it's becoming a bit Marvel mass production usual stuff. So,
Yeah.
it's becoming a bit more like you're just watching an episode of a series as opposed to a film now. There's a couple good bits which I can't really talk through because it might ruin it for you. So I won't.
Are you a fan of the Marvel movies in general?
Less so now, I think.
Like
I will continue to watch them. They're like easy breezy. Just put something on. Especially now we've got a 4-month-old. So I've always watched films all the way through, and I like to be nice and sort of settle down. I'm watching a movie, got my popcorn, got my beer. I'm going to watch the movie all the way through. I've got the sound settings correct. I've got my projector on. I'm going to watch it on the projector. Whereas now I can't do that. But yeah, we watched Ant-Man Quantumania in about three sittings, I think it was. So it's just like a TV show thing now, Marvel, isn't it? So you kind of just
hashtag dad life.
Yeah, hashtag dad life. So
it's difficult for the Marvel movies. So obviously they had the big build up to Infinity War and Endgame. And then post that, they've kind of, because obviously they killed off two of the biggest stars. So they killed off Robert Downey Jr. and killed off Chris Evans as Captain America. So it must be, replacing those two, who were basically the foundations of that whole thing, is pretty hard. But there's a first look today at the new, what's it called? Secret Invasion trailer came out today.
Oh, was it? I didn't see it.
That's a series, so that's got.
I'll probably watch that. Yeah.
And they've roped in Olivia Colman, who never does anything bad. So that looks pretty good. So that's featuring Samuel L. Jackson, Olivia Colman, and Emilia Clarke. Looks decent actually.
Yeah,
but it is difficult.
Because of Marvel, what they were doing quite well. And it's hard to tell if they are still doing it well, but each movie should be a movie standalone, and you don't have to watch the movie. So if you're a fan of the 4 movies, you should be able to just watch the 4 movies without watching the other ones. But I don't know if they can still say that now.
No, you have to have seen everything to understand everything.
It's just, I don't know, it's just oversaturated, I think. But
oversaturated is right. Well, speaking of movies, Williams, we went and this is the last of my little first looks, but it was a nice segue into it. We took so again, geek culture. We went to see Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
Yes.
So Brayden is a big Spider-Man fan. I've always loved Spider-Man. Like, Spider-Man's been my favourite since I was a kid. Spider-Man's the best. And we went to the cinema to see it. And I won't give any spoilers away, but first look at it, and it's flipping awesome. Go and see it.
So I like the first Spider-Verse.
Oh, it's class. First Spider-Man. This one's even better. This is just...
That's the first one?
Yeah. Better.
Really?
Oh. It was best film I've seen in a long time. Just the animation's class. It's proper.
Yeah.
It's proper popcorn.
Because they keep talking about doing there's apparently people being cast for a live version of the Spider-Verse, but isn't that just Spider-Man, which they've done already?
Oh no, but Miles Morales is just a cool character. They need to make a live action Miles Morales film. So we've got so again, game culture. So Spider-Man on the Spider-Man Insomniac games, they feature in the movie, and we got the Spider-Man Miles Morales game a couple of Christmases ago, and Brad and me just loved it. We played through it, and it's just brilliant. He loves. He's not really into the story. He just loves swinging around and putting on suits. And
well, you were the same in not the suits bit, but the. At university, I remember you whatever the Spider-Man game was at the time.
Spider-Man 2 on the PlayStation 2.
Swinging around the city.
Oh, it was brilliant, yeah. Just the freedom to swing around the city and pretend you're Spider-Man for a bit. Because, again, I have no life.
It's like the freedom of swinging.
I just like the freedom of swinging. But no, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. The second of 3 movies. The next one's going to come out either next year or the year after, and it's just brilliant. Go see it. Go see it.
Go see it.
Embrace the escapism.
But I've got a potential first. I'll probably leave it for next time because it could be quite a big one. So I'll leave that to next time because we're already about 50 minutes in. today
Oh,
at the bank. So I went to the bank today.
you went to the bank?
An
Dangerous.
which I know. I mean, banks are that they're dying, a dying trade. To be honest, I went to the bank today, and an old lady there asked this chap to help her check her balance. So they pushed her over.
I'd seen that one on the Instagram. I knew that was coming. As soon as you said check a balance, I thought, oh, no one's coming here.
Sorry.
Very good. Classics.
Yeah. And why did Mo Farah stop listening to music?
No, I didn't see this one on Instagram. Why did Mo Farah?
He broke too many records.
Way. So again, if you're not from the UK, you might not understand the reference there. Mo Farah is a very successful long-distance runner.
Everyone should know Mo Farah, surely.
I don't know. It's one of these things, isn't it? You know, like in the United Kingdom, you have these people and you're like, oh, yeah, they're amazing, they're brilliant. And then you go to another country and like, never heard of them. Yeah. Do you reckon Mo Farah's got any global appeal whatsoever?
No. Well, no, he did have that photo with Usain Bolt.
Well, that's true. But again, would that have been a thing that just went viral in the UK because it was cool? Like
maybe.
there are athletes like Usain Bolt who just kind of, they're just global superstars.
Maybe.
Mo Farah is... Listeners, do you believe Mo Farah is a global superstar?
Right in. So cliff edge, I guess. So we're at the point of the cliff edge. I haven't got any more first looks.
No, we're at the point of. I think
we're at the edge of the podcast. We had seems like we've done a short podcast, but we had a good old natter beforehand, which you didn't record. Sorry, listeners.
Yeah, we were chatting for about 4 hours beforehand about various different things,
and we didn't record a thing.
No, it would have been actually probably quite a good listen, but
if you want to subscribe and become a what they're called, a Patreon. We don't have an account, but
are you trying to type for subs now? So this episode, Wells, you've tried to sell merchandise. Now you're trying to get subs. I mean, is everything all right? You went to the bank.
But what they can do, Mr. Hodgkiss, they can subscribe, they can 5-star review, share, like, all that fun stuff. Please.
That's all we're after. That's all we ask. No 1-star reviews, please. For the edge of the cliff, we got what was number 1 in, let's say, 1984. Yeah, or thereabouts. Specifically April.
And also, I'm going to leave you all with a little riddle.
Sounds good.
A little riddle to find out for next episode, which hopefully you'll remind me of, so I forget. If you have 13 apples in one hand and 10 oranges in the other hand, what do you have?
I think I know the answer.
Find out next month.
We will leave it there, Williams. We'll leave it there. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody. Bye-bye. At the bottom of
Down at the bottom of the garden, between the birds and the bees, there live a lot of little people.
With the
They're called the Poddington Peas.
The Poddington
Peas.